Good morning, everyone. My name is Daryl. I am Kayla's boyfriend, definitely. I'm here to, talk about, I guess one of the projects that about love. As a young black man, um, what does it mean to have love within yourself, within the relationship that you're in, and every predicament that you're within? And the first thing I'll say, there's nothing to me more important than me making sure to love yourself. I think sometimes the biggest situation in life is people who don't really love themselves. And when you don't understand and love who you are as a person, um, to me, it will always be a scenario. It'll be hard to love those that are around you. It'll be hard to love your lifestyle. You become to be something you're not when you don't know what love is and you don't understand how to love yourself. So, to me, as a black man, sometimes, in our history's time, as a black man, it hasn't always been taught, especially in today's time, how to love yourself as a young black man. We've always been taught how to go out on the streets and be hardcore and do all the crazy, unnecessary things that is not really part of the journey of life. And that comes with traditional settings. Sometimes you can't be part of the traditions of what life brings to the forefront. But, sometimes it's great to be different. Sometimes it's great to be more than just the average or the percentage. But in all things, when it comes to loving, you have to love, again, you have to love yourself. And then being in a particular relationship, when a black man is with a black woman in today's time, it's always going to be a clash between, who's the dominant one, or, why do black men get respect from a black woman? I think sometimes, in today's times, like what I've always learned is that a lot of black men want to love a black woman, but they feel like at the end of the day, they want to be dominant. They want to be completely dominant, but with a black woman, she's really stronger. She's very, focused on what she wants out of life. She's not about the games. And, in time, I think sometimes patterns, make people label certain things. And so sometimes when you have a black man being certain types of ways, then a black woman's going to have to label that black man some type of way. Not saying that she wants to, especially if it's in a negative image, but sometimes that's kind of what it is. A black man wants to work. They just want to do their thing. And those are the real black men. But then you have those other black men who, I'm not going to label them, but we have those types of guys who just ain't about nothing, ain't trying to do nothing, just trying to get a hand out, you know what I mean? Trying to control and abuse, physically abuse, mentally abuse. We have those types of guys out there. So, it will always be a clash until real recognize real. And when you start to realize what you have, and you start to realize in every situation that, until you know what you have, both mates have to understand who they are within that love range. To say, all right, I have to love myself as a woman, and he has to love himself as a man. And if two partners can't love each other within themselves, how can they be able to love each other? You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, it really starts with loving yourself. And that's what's wrong with the world today. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it really is based off of, tradition. You know what I mean? Until we get past those negative traditional mentalities that we were brought up to believe and understand, we'll never get to understand what the present moment is and what tomorrow may be. So at the end of the day, it comes with so many different categories that I'm not going to get into because I could run my mouth all day. But for me, I never had my father in my life, you know what I mean? And for me to understand what love was, it took me at the age of 13 to say, all right, this is the only way I can be able to love. And I was raised in a middle class family, you know what I mean? So we was always going to church, even though I didn't like going to church. But, at 13, I made a decision to really, make God my father. And that's kind of how I really, I put faith in God and love all in one character, or in one group, I mean. And that's how I found it. I didn't really have a physical male figure to teach me how to love. I found it within myself to know how to love and to know how to express myself. Sometimes black men today feel like if you express yourself in a certain type of way, it takes away your manhood. It takes away who you are as a person. And sometimes that's not the typical situation. But, to me, I think every man has to know that just because you have a soft side in your heart, it doesn't have to be a lot. It could just be a little bit. You know what I mean? To say, especially if you're just expressing yourself to your lady or your family, that it should make a difference. You know what I mean? But in today's world, it does make a difference, because if you're not tough, then they feel like the world's going to run you over. You know what I mean? And to me, I'm tough. I'm always going to be tough. I'm always going to be who I'm going to be, and I'm not going to change for that. But at the same time, I know that at the end of the day, just because I have a little emotion doesn't make it seem like I'm not a man. And I'm always going to be a man no matter what. You know what I mean? Because can't nobody take away what God made. And if y'all who are watching, if you know who you are, and not to be spiritual, but just to say in general, you know what I mean, that, it's all about having faith a little bit in life, having faith in yourself. And that's what really helps you to learn about love, especially as a black person, especially as an African American culture. You know what I mean? It's hard because all we know is how to struggle. We don't know how to love. We've always been taught how to struggle, how to fight, how to be extra aggressive, because we feel like we don't want the other man to crucify us, may I say. I hate to say that word, but I know there's a better word than that. But in general, not to go too far off, but in general, love is just knowing how to. Love is like, how can I say? Love is deep. There's so many different dimensions to love, and until you really understand it, learn it, read about it, express it, you'll never understand what it means to love those that are around you, especially as a young black man. And there's a lot of teens that don't have fathers and don't have mothers, and they're raising themselves, and, kids raising kids nowadays. And that's not the best route to go, but that's today's society. And that's not teaching, these kids how to love. That's not teaching any of these kids, how to better themselves. So, the biggest and the best thing in this world today is, we need to learn how to develop ourselves. We need to learn how to do better. We need to learn how to, we need to learn how to just become better people, because until we don't find love, we will always hate each other. We will always hate who we are and what we are. So other than that, I know I've been talking a little bit longer than I supposed to in the class. So at the end of the day, again, there's few pointers I'll say out. 3 or 4 pointers. 1, love yourself. 2, understand what love is. 3, for any black, any race, to be honest, not just black, but for any race, until you understand who you are as a person, till you understand that love has different categories in life, you'll never really understand what love means. So we have to research it, we have to understand it, and we have to express it. You know what I mean? And that's the only way we could be able to change. That's the only way that we could better ourselves. And that's the only way that we could be able to become better people in this life today. So, and then I guess maybe 4 is just, regardless of who's not there in your life, mom, dad, relatives, or whatever that may be, have a little faith. Put your faith in God. And at the end of the day, push comes to shove, that might be the answer of knowing how to love. You know what I mean? It may not be in a physical feature. Knowing how to love sometimes might have to be in faith. You know what I mean? And that might be the key thing, that some people might have to take that route You know what I mean? Because some people look at the physical nature thing. I got to find something physical to learn how to love. And sometimes it may not be something physical or in a natural sense. Sometimes it has to be in a supernatural sense to learn how to love. So those things to me is what, love is really all about. And that sometimes in today's situation and sometimes in today's lifestyle, until we get past those negative traditional settings, we'll never understand what the present moment into present time and what the future of love really, really means. So again, I want to say thank you for everyone that's listening. To those that are in class, hope you take a little bit something from this. My name is Daryl, Daryl Hill. Push come to shove, I'm just doing this project from a lady, Kayla Baker, and hopefully, push come to shove, we all learn how to love each other. Until then, the world will be what it is today. So until again, God bless. Hopefully everyone has a good day and a good holiday, and I will speak to you whenever she needs me again. All right. Bye-bye.